You're too busy making 1K to reach 10K a month, is what my mentor told me back in 2023. That's what he told me before we started working together. He was like, how much do you make? And I told him, I'm making 1 to 2K a month and working 12 to 16 hours a day. I was working for the entire day and I was still making 1 to 2K a month. And he was like, okay, so I see what's the problem here. You're too busy making 1 to 2K a month to reach 10K a month. And he was right. He was right. Everybody in his community was making 10K, 20K, 30K, 50K a month, working 1 to 4 hours a day. But what the fuck was I doing wrong? I was too busy. So this is what I wanted to share with you in this video. So before I get into this, let me tell you how I started as a copywriter. I remember back in 2023, I had just finished the army, and in my country it's necessary to go for like 9 to 12 months as a man. And I had just finished with the army and I was about to go to college. I had passed to the best college in Greece, the best one. Everybody around me was like, "Oh, congratulations! You got the best. You're in the best college. Now you're gonna make money. Now you're gonna learn a lot of stuff. You're gonna get educated. That's what everybody around me told me, and I was like, no. Oh my god. I always knew before I even learned about copywriting. I always knew that I didn't want to go there. I always knew. Back then, I wanted to become a professional fighter. But that's a story for another time. So I was still in college, and bro, I had to go to these classes. I had to listen to all these garbage professors. I had to surround myself with all these degenerates. And you know, I'm not trying to say that I'm better than them or something. We're just in a different path. So I'm not judging them. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's just not me. That's not me. And if you're watching this video, it's probably not you too. So fast forward a few months, I learned about copywriting, I joined the real world, I started making some money. Actually, I didn't make any money while I was in the real world, I'm just kidding. So I didn't make any money for 5 months. Then I found my first mentor, and once I found my first mentor, I made my first $500, which was, bro, once I made that money, bro, my heart was pounding. I was like, finally, this thing is working. I see the proof. So I was believing in myself, but I didn't make any money. So I got into a self-pity party, man. I got so fucking depressed. And because I had pushed everybody away from me in my real life, I didn't have anybody. And it sucked for a long time. But now that I see it, it's good. I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I pushed everybody away. Because if I had all these losers near me, I wouldn't be able to achieve a fraction of what I have now in such a low amount of time. So yeah. So fast forward a few more months, I was making around 1K a month, which is more than enough for me to pay for my living expenses, so I could drop out of college and live on my own and do this type of stuff. At least that's what happens in my country. Maybe in your country it's more expensive and you need more money. Maybe if you live in a third world country like I do, maybe you need even less money. So yeah, that depends on you. But bro, I wasn't satisfied at all. I dropped out of college so I could escape from that traditional path, but I got stuck in another trap. And I don't know if it's a better trap, but it's still a trap, and I don't recommend anybody go there. So I was in the trap of working 12 to 16 hours a day for 1K a month, which wasn't worth it, man. If you put in the numbers down, I was probably working for $2 an hour or something. It's not worth your time. It's not worth. So I knew how to find a better way, and I wasn't satisfied at all. 16 hours a day, I had no personal life. I didn't even go to the gym at one point. I had dropped out all my hobbies. I wasn't even answering my family's calls. It was insane. So everything changed once I found my second and current mentor. He changed everything I knew about copy. But before I joined, he said this one quote that I shared with you earlier. He said, I still remember it. I feel like it's never gonna go away from my mind. He said, "You're too busy making 1K to reach 10K a month." And at that point, I didn't even realize what he meant. once he said it, but as soon I realized. So here's 3 things I realized about why I was too busy making 1K to reach 10K a month, and how you can do the same. So the first thing is, I was working for so cheap. I was working for very cheap, man. I was working for very cheap. Just think about it. If you're working 16 hours a day and you're getting paid 1K a month, how much are you getting paid? Really? Is it? That's it's $2 an hour. It's $2 an hour. It's $2 an hour. Usually you hire VAs from, no offense, from India for that amount of money. Bro, it's not the money I was promised on when I got into copywriting. I should be making 100 times that amount for an hour that I was spending in copy. But anyway, so if you're gonna work for this amount of money, for so little money, it kills all of your opportunities. Because with that amount of money, you can't buy anything, and you can't reinvest in yourself. You can't do anything with that amount of money. So one of the things I want you to do is to avoid working for cheap. Avoid cheap labor. Avoid cheap labor if you can. Try to go for those high ticket clients immediately. And no, it doesn't matter if you have experience. It doesn't matter all of these excuses that you have about not being able to work with those clients. Everything is an excuse. You can work, and I have done this. So again, the second thing is doing all the wrong activities. So you're not focusing on the highest ROI activities. So for example, watching courses, watching videos, it's kind of good. It's kind of good, but it's not a needle moving forward activity. The needle moving activities are doing more outreach and providing better results for your clients. These are the best things you can do. And of course, building your knowledge then. That's an activity too. And the third thing is, I was trading all of my time working with last resort prospects. That's how I call them. So these are prospects with no long-term potential, leaving me with no time to increase my income. Because when you work for 16 hours a day on this type of clients, it leaves you with no time to focus on the actual clients who are gonna pay you what you're worth. Okay? And these are the clients you wanna focus on. If it's not a great deal, then it's not a deal at all. That's how I view this right now. That's how I view copywriting right now. So a quote I tell myself all the time is, sometimes you gotta take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So what I do, when I was making that 1K a month working every day, I had a few clients, so I dropped all of them. And then I focused on actually finding high ticket clients. So I dropped all of my clients so I could get back my time, so then I could then invest that time into finding better clients. Okay, and now you might think, oh, but Orestes, you're gonna lose all your money, you're not gonna have any income. Yeah, of course you're not gonna have any income for a month, for 2 months. But remember what I said, sometimes you gotta take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So stop making money for a month, go back to the drawing board, see what I was doing wrong, see what I was doing right, nail down on that, and eliminated the bad things. And then the next month I hit my first 5K month, and then I hit 10K. And now we're growing from there. And that's what you want to do if you want to. If right now you're struggling, you're somewhere between making a few $100 a month, closing a 3-figure, 4-figure deal max here and there, depending on luck kind of, or depending on sending more outreach, doing more volume, then this is not really what's it called? It's not really consistent. It's not repeatable. You want to find a repeatable process that you can just plug and play to land clients. That's what you want to do. And that's what I did, and that's what I teach my students how to do. And that's why some of them are making multiple figures a month. But by the way, anyway. So yeah, that's what I want to share with you in this video. And that's what I meant when I said I was too busy making 1K to reach 10K. So if you're struggling with something like this, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you have to say and what your journey is looking like. So yeah, peace. I'll see you on the next one.